Another episode of Raw in the books, and it was amazing. The show kicked off with a segment with The Vision, Paul Heyman, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. They were yapping. I actually missed about the first 9 minutes of the show because I didn't realize how late it was. But I'm assuming they were just yapping about being mad that Seth Rollins is back. And it turned out to be actually pretty funny. A masked man came out. He got chased away by security. Another masked man came out. He was chased away by Logan Paul. Another masked man came out, was chased away by Austin Theory. Another masked man came out, stood on the ramp and stared at Paul Heyman. And then Seth Rollins, the final masked man, showed up behind Paul Heyman and absolutely destroyed him with a chair shot to the back, Shield style, and then hit him with a stomp. But before, can we take a look at Paul Heyman's ass? I mean, good God! But then it went to an ad break, and when they came back, Paul Heyman was on a stretcher and was getting put into the ambulance with blood, coming out of his nose, all over his face, and he was getting put in the ambulance. And Austin Theory told Logan Paul, hey, go get in the car. A car pulled up next to it. Austin Theory thought it was Logan Paul, of course. And then Jimmy Uso came out and just destroyed Austin Theory. And then LA Knight, turned out to be the ambulance driver and drove away with Paul Heyman. So this entire first segment was just so chaotic and so awesome. I absolutely loved this. I really hope we have more chaotic openings to Raw like this because this was incredible. This was awesome. Next, RHIYO has officially separated temporarily. Rhea is going to SmackDown to feud with Jade Cargill heading into the road to WrestleMania. And Io's going to stay on Raw, likely doing something with Kairi Sane and Asuka. I don't exactly know what we're going to get at WrestleMania, if it's going to be Asuka versus Kairi versus Io, if it's going to be Kairi versus Asuka, Asuka versus Io. I'm not exactly sure. Io versus Kairi doesn't really make that much sense, but this makes sense, this breakup. Also, I'm not the only one who thinks this. I've seen other people saying this too. Why do they act like they're dating? It's so weird. I mean, you do you, but it's so random. They look at each other and they look like they're about to kiss half the time. I just thought that was funny, so I figured I'd mention it. I think this was the correct decision, though. Nia and Lash are probably going to do great things with the tag titles, hopefully. And, I'm glad they're freeing up these two certified main eventers for WrestleMania, because it is much needed. Next, we had Danhausen in a backstage segment with Adam Pearce. I'm just realizing this, by the way. Look at the way he's shaking his hand. He had a list of Demandhausens for Adam Pearce, which included a blimp, an immediate Hall of Fame induction, a personal assistant, and a Triple H pointing picture. However, he unfortunately only ended up getting one of those. He got the pointing picture with Triple H. Hopefully, Adam Pearce diligently meets those other Demandhausens as he should in the very near future. Next, we had a match between the original El Grande Americano and RHIYO, I believe, or Bravo. I'm not even sure. I think it was Bravo. Of course, it ended in chaos, but it was amazing chaos. Original El Grande Americano ended up picking up the win, and I really hope we get Chad Gable back, by the way. I'm hoping this original El Grande Americano, since he's in American Made, has contact with Chad Gable and is hopefully trying to get him back as soon as possible. We had a segment between Rusev and Oba Femi. We got a little preview of basically what their match is going to be next week. Oba ended up on top with a huge back suplex type move on Rusev. And it's confirmed next week on Raw we will get Oba Femi versus Rusev. I can't wait for this match, and I'm glad that they're doing this on Raw and not waiting till WrestleMania. We also have a number one contenders match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, a gauntlet match, including Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, and Ivy Nile. AJ Lee said next time she stepped in the ring, she would be defending the title. She, of course, has listed a bunch of names that she wants to face on the women's roster. And honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these options. Lyra, of course, had a long feud for that title. Of course, deserving of winning it. Bayley had a great feud with Becky, and Lyra also deserves a shot. Io, a main eventer, so I feel like she should get a shot at the mid-card title, really, whatever she wants. Raquel would be interesting, but I think she should stay in the world title picture, probably. Asuka, I think, would be really cool. I think Asuka versus AJ Lee could actually be a really good match. And Ivy Nile, who is continued to exponentially improve throughout like the past year, just keeps getting better and better. Next, we had a match between the Ring Gunnar and Dragon Lee. And Gunnar ended up taking off his mask. It wasn't a very long match. Dragon Lee attacked him during his entrance, but then Gunther just kind of dominated. It was great. Dragon Lee did a great job, but Gunther ended up ripping off his mask, and he immediately just tapped out to try to end the match. I think overall this was a good segment, though, and I feel like it definitely just kept Gunther's heat going. And you wanted to root for Dragon Lee. It was hard not to root for the guy. We have a new Intercontinental Champion in Penta, who dethroned Daddy Dominic Mysterio. JD went to get the hammer for Dom, and Finn stopped him, and it ended up costing him the match because Dom said he wanted to do it all on his own. And, dude, Finn is doing everything he can to get kicked out of the Judgment Day, dude. I think it is definitely the right decision to have Finn leave the Judgment Day, though. And I kind of like this title change. I love Daddy Dom, but, you know, Penta has been a workhorse for Raw over the past year plus. Dom hasn't been doing well with the title the past few months, so I like this. Next, oh my God, what a main event segment. This was just as good as their last promo. Roman... each of them had really good insults. Roman said, "We brought you back to entertain the 30 to 40-year-old virgins living with their moms." And the promo, I thought it was about to end, but then CM Punk grabbed Roman Reigns and just went off on him, and he ended the promo by saying, "I'm going to bury you at WrestleMania, and I'm going to bury you right next to your dad." And I feel like there's only one appropriate way for Roman to respond to this. Look at your boy, Mama Rhodes. Look at your son. Look at the blood. Your son's blood on Johnson's hands. We need this. We absolutely need this. We need Roman to absolutely destroy CM Punk. Whether that's an attack, final boss style on Cody Rhodes, or whether that's on the mic. People are speculating he's going to mention Larry. I don't want him to mention Larry just because dogs, insulting a person's dog is where I draw the line. That's just me personally, though, and I feel like he probably will go there. He could spear AJ Lee. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I am so excited for this feud. We have full-time Roman Reigns. I think he's only missing like 1 week on the road to WrestleMania. So I cannot wait for this feud and this match to continue. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this episode of Raw. I thought this was incredible. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Check out another video on the screen if you'd like. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want. And